I'm ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
So where's the first question?
Yeah, wait a minute.
Oh, shit. Okay, now I'm getting nervous. Well, when I started photography, I read a quote by Robert Capa that says, if it's not good enough, you're not close enough. So for me, I would like to get the soul or the guts of someone in the picture. I mean, to get a good picture, you have to be sneaky, okay, because otherwise you can't get a good picture. If they know that you're going to take the person who you want to photograph, they're going to be ready and their attitude is going to change. But having said that, no matter how close you are, unless somebody is standing still, when they're walking in the street, even if let's say I see someone that I want to take a photograph of, I like the background. The backgrounds and the details are very important. I like everything. By the time they get to you and that 3 feet, to 1 foot away, things change. So, and I've always found that when my work is closer, it's more powerful. For example, there have been occasions where I've taken pictures of the same person or the same situation. And the one further back is okay, but the more powerful one is always the closer one. And to me, a strong photograph has to work within the frame and have a strong emotional content. So that's it. I've always liked mugshots. Mugshots that they do when you're in, you're arrested and they're going to put you in jail. I've always liked them. I mean, for example, they have several photo books that have like all these criminals from LA or something. I'm fascinated, okay? Old books from France, they're just wonderful. I saw a series of old pictures on the internet with my assistant. He showed me of all these criminals. I forget from where they were, but it was like 1900 or 19, wow, it was unbelievable. I mean, the photographers didn't do it with the intent for art, it was just a document, but boy, those portraits were wonderful, okay? So it always takes me a long time to realize things that I want to do. When you do street photography, the way I do it, I think it's the hardest form of photography to do well. That doesn't mean the only good pictures are street photographs, it just means that it's really hard to do. Because there are so many things that can go wrong in the picture, so I call it an unlucky accident. But when everything breaks well, it's the lucky accident. So now, for me, doing portraits, I had to feel like I'm almost cheating in a little way. Because I see someone's face, but it's not as easy as it looks, though it's easier to get many good pictures when you do portraits than candid street photographs. But I think the portraits are my strongest work ever. I mean, they're really strong, and I think they're wonderful portraits. To me, photography is very intuitive, okay? I'm not one of those intellectuals that thinks about, I do a lot of thinking, okay, that's for sure. But it's like I was an athlete, okay? So when you play sports, you have to be ready. Like if you play baseball, you have to know who's on base. You can't think about it. You have to act and react. It's the same thing in photography. I think the thing that you have to know is have a sense of where you're comfortable. What street, what time of the day. All of those things are quite important. Otherwise, you're just like a duck out of water. Fish out of water is better, okay? And some people are smart about it, other people aren't. Like people ask me, well, what's a good photograph? If you don't know what a good photograph is, I can't tell you. I always wonder when people can't edit their own work. I'm a good editor of my work, no matter what anybody thinks, because for me, if something's good, really good, it jumps off the contact page. Okay, if you have to look at it 1,000 times, it might be okay, but you're not going to miss it. If you miss it, then you don't have a very good eye. So street smart sensibilities also, you have to try to figure out who's not going to knock your head off. And that goes whether you work 30 feet away or 1 foot away, okay? If I'm comfortable doing what I do, I can be 1 foot away and have less problems than someone else who's 30 feet away, because I'm comfortable. If I see you and I think you're a character, I can tell, because I'm a character. I've always been controversial, okay, so For me, it's okay to be controversial. It's better to be, but I'm not controversial just to be controversial. That's my vision, okay? I've always, when I was 5 years old, I liked wrestlers. You know, if the ones were different, I loved them. You know, I wanted to be a boxer. I always liked the underdog. So it's just a natural progression. One of the pictures, that's a lady who was taken in the black country, and she has lipstick on, one tooth, she has lipstick on her head. And I asked, can I take your picture? It was in West Bromwich, which is a pretty interesting place. And she said yes, and I took a picture, and I said, you want to see it? My assistant doesn't always like that, because then sometimes, you know, someone might say, oh, think whatever. But I showed it to her, and she says to me, I said, do you like it? She said, I'm beautiful. And then it made me go back and look at the picture, okay? And in the picture, even if she has one tooth, at one time she was a very pretty lady. She might be, she looks 50 or something like that, she may be 40, we don't know, okay? She had a hard life. And yet you look at how she put a lipstick on. And even though it is a smudge here, you know, she missed, the lipstick is put on so perfectly with the need to look beautiful. I made her day. So I don't do it for that reason. I could tell you other stories like that too. And it's not done for that reason, but it makes me feel good. And the people that look away, you know, they don't get it. First of all, you have in the mix that in 20 years' time, everything changes, okay? Secondly, New York hasn't changed for the better. I mean, I don't like it. I like the buildings, I don't like the people. Thirdly, I photographed there in the city starting in 1981. How many years can you photograph there? You have enough. So when I look at snippets of what I did, I'm looking at a 20-some-odd year period of photographs. So how many really good ones do I have? 10? 12? You know, it's not a lot. So imagine if you went out, not every day, but quite often, to a place and you got 12 or 15 pictures. But the city has changed for me. So the combination of time, doing something over a long period of time, you know, the last 3 or 4 years that I don't photograph in New York any longer, okay, on the streets, unless someone asks me. I just did an assignment for Le Monde on Brighton Beach in color. This is pretty good. I mean, I'll find a way. But on my own, you know, also, I've done it. So if I'm going to do a city, maybe I do LA. Or maybe something else. I don't want to repeat what I've done, because I still see that guy with the cigar. I see that lady with her hair. So, I mean, maybe I can top what I've done, but it's not worth the effort. I always used to say it was like my child, because I didn't have a child until 22 years ago. Oh, I didn't. I mean, I know I'm special, but not that special. My wife we had a daughter 22 years ago. I used to always compare it to my child, because it fits so nicely in the hand. It's a great object. And one of the positive things about a rangefinder camera is the mirror never goes up. So whatever you're photographing, you see it all the time. That's great. Also, maybe I've always been an outsider. So in the period I started photographing, everybody had a Nikon, not a Leica. And someone said, oh, you should get a Leica, it's a good camera. So I said, okay. So I bought a used Leica. And from that moment on, I used Leicas. Is that good? We finished? You have another question?
Yeah, no, that was it. I'm all out.